Every championship team has that guy. The guy who's willing to get down and dirty when there's a loose ball on the ground. The guy who's willing to dive to the floor and do whatever it takes to come up with the ball. Moses Moody, 17-1 in the starting lineup, seems like he could be the Warriors' guy. So let's roll the tape. Last night, the Warriors played the Knicks in epic fashion, ended up edging out a win. Meaning the small plays, the minuscule plays that everyone makes on both the defensive and offensive possessions really matter, especially those from those who are not stars, like Moses Moody, like Guy Santos, like even Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. Let's roll the tape on this first clip where we're going to look at Moses Moody's first impact in the game. We have Jimmy Butler at the top of the key, and he's going up against a bigger Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns clearly had vendetta this game, just because of Draymond Green words on his podcast. But notice how Moody initially starts here under the basket. OG Anunoby notices that Jimmy Butler is driving towards the rim, and he basically sets up in the paint to potentially contest Jimmy Butler. Moses Moody, though, is very comfortable in the corner three pocket. His true shooting percentage this season is 68.2% in the starting lineup, which is one of the best in the league with over 10 attempts. And that's really just insane. And so he's able to knock down this early three. Moses Moody is now an easy corner three shooter from the Warriors. I feel like we don't even need to look. We don't even need to watch. When Moses Moody gets the ball in the corner, he makes it every single time. Now, here's another possession with Jimmy Butler, Josh Hart, but also Moses Moody on the defensive end. So what we're going to see is Jimmy Butler does a great job of locking him down. There's this little handoff here towards Draymond Green. The Warriors, once again, showing their switchability, which I think is going to be super important as we play towards the playoffs. The fact that this lineup right here can pretty much switch 1 through 5 because Draymond's able to guard basically anybody, guard or center. And Moses Moody has that same ability as well here. He's guarding, obviously, a tough guard in OG Anunoby. Then he switches it off to Guy Santos. Right here, look at this reach. Moses Moody clearly knew that this play was set up for someone like Karl Anthony Towns. And he didn't even have to look at where Karl Anthony Towns was. As soon as he saw this pass go in the air by OG Anunoby, Moses Moody sticks out his 7-foot wingspan and is able to get that turnover, converting it into an offensive possession. Next, let's look at Moses Moody on the offensive end as well. In this lineup right here, the Warriors lack shooting. They have Draymond Green on the court and they have GP2, both not great shooters. So what does this mean for Moses Moody? It means he has the green light. He can shoot whenever he wants, and there's going to be a lot of places where he's forced to shoot and take a little bit more of a contested shot than he might in the closing lineup. So right here, Moses Moody gets the ball, and there's very aggressive defense right here. Josh Hart is a little bit shading because he doesn't believe GP2 can shoot. And so there's really aggressive defense onto Moses Moody. And Moses does a great job of getting under, doing this fake spin move that he loves to do, and getting it right up here. And this was incredible, if not only for the fact that it's 2:25 left in the fourth quarter. The game is tied. This is a clutch basket from Moses Moody, and one that he decides, hey, I can take it all the way against someone like Mikal Bridges, someone who's supposed to be a lockdown defender for a wing player, and I'm a role player, and I am able to do that. And everyone knew Moses Moody was going to shoot the ball there, which means Hart was locked into him. The whole defense was locked into him, which is something obviously Moses Moody's not very used to, but his confidence is flying high, and he's willing to do what needs to be done. Here, it seems like they actually run a little bit of a play for Moses Moody. Jimmy Butler's going to hand it off to Moses Moody, set the screen onto Campaign, and try to force the switch onto Karl Anthony Towns. Now, Moses Moody is such a good shooter now that basically everyone's going to chase over the top of any screen, and that's exactly what happens here. But Campaign isn't able to get around the screen fast enough, which forces a switch onto Karl Anthony Towns. Now, this is not a role player level play. This is a play you run for your star to get a mismatch, which is awesome just to see that Moses Moody is now getting plays run for him and is now able to operate on big men and, as you're going to see, break him down. So Moses Moody backs up. Karl Anthony Towns gives him a lot of respect. And what you're going to see right here is Moses Moody just drives right by him and gets an edge. And Karl Anthony Towns is very aggressive. Moses Moody knows that. So he does a flip around shot and makes this tough 2-point basket, which is something that wasn't in his repertoire last season, wasn't in his repertoire the season before, but he's really worked on his game to break down people one-on-one in the 2-point range, which is highly valuable. If Moses Moody can become a great closeout attacker, a guy that's great off and a little bit of an advantage, that just speaks well for the Warriors and means he can create offensively without relying on Draymond Green and Steph Curry. In this next play right here, we're featuring a Kings possession that I just really wanted to highlight for you guys of Moses Moody's defensive play. Look, he's already behind DeMar DeRozan right here in this play, and DeMar, knowing that post is right here, is going to try to pass it. But Moses Moody realizes it, sticks his hand up as he's trying to pass it to Monte Ellis. It leads to a turnover right here. And I think that type of effort, what you don't see is Moses Moody is sprawled on the ground right here. He had to fall. He had to dive basically to hit that ball and get the tip. And that's not a play a lot of people make. Not a play that we see often from players on the Warriors. Like Steph Curry couldn't make that play, but Moses Moody is willing to get down and basically into the stands to get the loose balls that he needs to basically give the Warriors an advantage and end up with a Steph Curry 3-point shot, which is obviously always awesome to see. If you guys like this content, please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you guys like Moody's minutes, please feel free to comment below what your thoughts are on Moody in the starting lineup and how he may have secured his place as really Warriors stalwart. Thank you guys for watching.